Babylon is one of the most famous cities since ancient times. It was the capital of southern Mesopotamia, also known as Babylonia, from the early 2nd millennium to the early 1st millennium BCE, and the capital of the Neo-Babylonian Empire in the 17th and 6th centuries BCE when it was at its best times. Its extensive ruins on the Euphrates River about 55 miles south of Baghdad lie near the modern town of Al-Ḥillah, Iraq. History. Babylon's development as a major city was late by Mesopotamian standards, and in fact, it existed even before the 23rd century BCE. After the fall of the 3rd dynasty of Ur, under which Babylon had been a provincial center, which led to the nucleus of a small kingdom established in 1894 BCE by the Amorite king Sumuabum, whose successors consolidated the status. Hammurabi, 1792–50 BCE, known to be the sixth and best of the Amorite Dynasty, conquered the surrounding city-states and raised Babylon to the capital of a kingdom comprising all of southern Mesopotamia and part of Assyria. Its political importance, together with its favorable location, made it the main commercial and administrative center of Babylonia, while its wealth and prestige made it a target for foreign conquerors. The city passed under the control of the Kassites after a Hittite raid in 1595 BCE, who established a dynasty lasting more than 4 centuries. Later, Babylon became a literary and religious center, the prestige of which was reflected in the elevation of Marduk, its chief god, to supremacy in Mesopotamia. In 1234, Tukulti Ninurta I of Assyria subjugated Babylon, though subsequently the Kassite dynasty reasserted itself after 1158 when the city was sacked by the Elamites. Babylon's acknowledged political supremacy is shown by the fact that the dynasty of Nebuchadnezzar 1124–03, which stretched for more than a century, made the city its capital, though the dynasty did not originate there. Just before 1000, Aramean immigrants' pressure brought administrative dislocation inside Babylon, which led to the fall of Assyria in the late 7th century BCE. There was a frequent struggle between Aramean or Chaldean tribesmen and the Assyrians for political control of the city. Its citizens claimed privileges like exemption from forced labor, certain taxes, and imprisonment, which the Assyrians with a similar background were usually reader to recognize than were immigrant tribesmen. Furthermore, the citizens, grown wealthy through commerce, benefited from an imperial power able to protect international trade, but severely suffered economically at the hands of disruptive tribesmen. Such circumstances led Babylon to prefer Assyrian to Aramean or Chaldean rule. From the 9th to the late 7th century, Babylon was almost ruled under Assyrian suzerainty, usually wielded through native kings. Close Assyrian involvement in Babylon began with Tiglath-Pileser III, 744–727 BCE, as a result of Chaldean tribesmen pressing into city territories, which led to usurp the kingship. Disorders accompanying increasing tribal occupation finally persuaded the Assyrian monarch Sennacherib 704–681 BCE that peaceful control of Babylon was impossible, and in 689 he ordered the destruction of the city. His son Esarhaddon 680–669 BCE canceled that policy, and after expelling the tribesmen and returning the property of the Babylonians to them, undertook the rebuilding of the city. But the image of Marduk, removed by Sennacherib, was said to be retained in Assyria throughout his reign, possibly to prevent any potential usurper from using it to claim the kingship. In the mid-7th century, a civil war broke out between Assyrian king Ashurbanipal and his brother who ruled in Babylonia as his sub-king. Ashurbanipal laid siege to the city, which fell to him in 648 after the famine had driven the defenders to cannibalism. After Ashurbanipal's death, a Chaldean leader, Nabopolassar 626, made Babylon the capital of a kingdom that under his son Nebuchadnezzar II 605–561 BCE became a major imperial power. Nebuchadnezzar undertook a vast program of rebuilding and fortification in Babylon. Labor gangs from many lands increased the mixture of the population. For a decade, Nabonidus 556–539 BCE campaigned in Arabia, who was Nebuchadnezzar's most important successor, leaving his son Belshazzar as regent in Babylon. Nabonidus failed to protect the property rights or religious traditions of the capital and attempted to build operations somewhere else to rival Marduk's great temple of Esagila. When the Persian Achaemenid dynasty under Cyrus II attacked in 539 BCE, the capital fell almost without resistance. Babylon retained most of its institutions when they were under Persian rule and became the capital of the richest satrapy in the empire. In 331, Babylon surrendered to the Macedonian king Alexander the Great, recognized the commercial importance of the city, allowed its satrap to coin money, and began constructing a harbor to foster trade. So, do you guys know that Babylon is called today? Comment below.